Yeah. Adjusting the camera for the lower third view because I'm just kind of hanging out here a little bit here with Nettie Baker, Kofi Baker, and very excited to have you both on again together again, which is really cool.
Wow.
And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff for about 20 minutes or so here live on Facebook, live on YouTube at the same time. And if you all follow the ticker down there at the bottom of the screen, if you're not already a member, become a member, because at about the 20-minute mark around there, we're going to go into the virtual reality part of our membership site and do a fan Q&A session. I have a feeling there might be a couple funny dad stories. Who knows what's going to come up? Yeah, I have a feeling there's a couple of those lurking around that I haven't heard yet. But what we're going to start with first is Kofi, On and Off the Road with Sons of Cream. And I don't know where they got that name from. And Nettie, of course, with yet another book, fourth book, that I'm so excited about this because the press release is, I want to start with that, Nettie. The press release is very compelling because it says it's going to put a lot of myths to rest. And I don't want you to, give away any spoilers, but that really piques my interest because it really, really makes one wonder, especially someone who's been a fan of 60 years of the band, basically wondering, well, what is myth and what's truth? So I'm really eager. And so talk a little bit about the book and the process.
Well, I was commissioned to do it by my publisher. He said, can you do a book about every gig Cream ever did? Which, although it wasn't a long-lived band, there was a lot of gigs. And loads and loads that people didn't know about it and that had disappeared. The whole full list wasn't there. So it took ages. And there were a lot of shows. So that took me ages. But, I've got a degree in research. So I had to research everything. Old newspapers, stuff like that, so you could find out. And but sometimes a gig was advertised, they weren't there. You have to sometimes you find a press release saying it was cancelled. It was like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, and in the meantime you get a lot of good funny stories coming in as well. But it busts some myths. There's a lot of tired old things out there about Cream, when the Hendrix jammed with Cream, what happened, and all of these things fans have got. Was it Cream or the Cream? The Cream. It was both. And all of these funny little things. And, when they started, they didn't have a name. They did. The first secret gig wasn't advertised. It was. And all of these things with people saying, oh, I was there. No, you weren't.
Now, you were there.
That's what was great about it. But some people get very cross. Right.
You were there for a lot of it. Do we get some anecdotal stuff that's not from research, but from your memory of being there?
I kept a diary on the first tour that I went on with them.
Yeah.
So you've even got diary anecdotes from me in Boston in 1967. So.
Yeah.
Before I was born.
Before you were born, yes, you are, sir, not appearing in this book. Well, I think you do get in it a bit later, because obviously I go right up to the reunion and I end it at Jack's funeral, because that's the last time the three of them were together. So
yeah, which, by the way, that in itself was just an amazing production, the way they put all those nights together. Not only was the performance just unbelievable, but the way it was shot, the cinematography, the way that whole thing was packaged, I don't think it could have been better. It was
it's just been re-released as well.
Oh, great. Is there extra goodies with it?
So, yeah, if anyone wants the Royal Albert Hall DVD, go out and get it.
Oh, that's
great. They didn't use any of the Madison Square Gardens, did they? It was all at Royal Albert Hall.
I've got them on bootleg. Someone gave me, but they're not on, no.
Yeah. And you guys were there. What was that like?
Interesting. Kofi, we lost Kofi. Remember we lost you in the, you disappeared and we couldn't find you after a gig. And then we thought, oh, God, who's going to find Kofi? And we all went, nominate leader.
So that's why they make child leashes, Nettie.
Well, I mean, it was my dad. I went to the reunion, right, at the Madison Square Gardens, and there was an after party after the gig with Godfrey Townsend had put on. And Godfrey had contacted me and said, "Can you sit in on the after party after the reunion?" I said, "Great." So I flew in with my pedals so I could put my pedals on the kit and everything. And after the gig, Dad came into that dressing room and I said, "I've got to go. I've got to jump and run to this gig up, a few blocks up to the after party." And Dad said, "No, you're not." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You got to stay here. Are they paying you?" I said, "Well, I'm sitting in at the after party. Of course they're not paying me." "You need to get paid. If you're going to do something, you have to get paid." I go, "It's just well, you need to stay here." And then he walked out of the dressing room and never came back. And I sat there for like an hour, missed the gig and everything, and never saw him again.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go.
That's my dad for you. Nice.
Well, I think we did find you in the end, but.
Well, it's neat that that's being re-released. When does the book come out? Is it out already? It's not out yet.
It's September the 27th is published, but there's 500 a print run of 500 for the limited edition for the fans, which is a hard copy, which is signed. I'm signing today. I've signed about 400 already today.
Great. And how does someone get those?
The book's not out, so I'm signing the plate that will be, it's going to be bound into the book with my signature on it.
How do people get those copies?
Well, they just go to Weimar UK, weimar.co.uk, weimaruk.co.uk.
Okay, yeah, I think
you can only get them there. It's WYMER.
I have it. I'm going to put it in the chat real quick.
And just hurry up because I've sold I'm up into the 400s. There's only 500 of that run. So if they want a signed copy, they have to hurry.
Great. There we go.
And then after that, it will probably go to paperback. But if, the best copy is the limited edition, first edition.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Well, so Steven, our producer, is watching in the background, and Steve, text Aisha and tell her to buy 6 copies right now with the company card, 1 for me, 1 for you, and then we're going to give 4 away to our members.
Oh, great.
So Steve, please make sure she gets that taken care of. Yeah, we've got a lot of family members working for us now. My wife runs HR and is our on-site production manager. Steve, my son, is our executive producer. And our granddaughter is Aisha, who I mentioned. She's 8 years old, but she's real good with apps.
Yeah,
she's 24. I'm kidding. She's 24. And she made us great grandparents. So to punish her, now she works with us. And she does all the fulfillment when people win prizes on our game shows and all that stuff. So Steve will take care of that. We'll get 6 copies, 1 for me, 1 for him, and then we'll give 4 away to our members or do a drawing.
So you've got a big family going on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have combined between Enja and I 11 kids, 19 grandkids, and a great grandson.
Oh my God! Well, we have none. Nettie's the only one that had a kid. Yeah. Nita didn't have any kids. I don't have any kids. Nettie's the only one that had a kid. So out of our family, it's gone down to 1. There's going to be only be 1 person left.
We're thinking of starting a rental business with the grandkids. They
range
from 8 to 24 years old, different races. You can Awesome. Kofi, let's talk about your gigging, and I'll look at comments in a moment, folks. What's going on with Sons of Cream? I know you're on and off the road. Talk about the band, and then when you're done with that, I'm going to show some pictures from the book as well. Pictures from before there was photography. Figure that one out, folks. We'll get back to that in a moment.
How this time machine shit, right? You go back in time and get that stuff. Well, okay, so the band was Sons of Cream had been on and off. The band was originally, I was working with Kofi Baker's Cream Faith. I booked a tour in Europe last year, and I needed a bass player, so I called up Malcolm and said, "Hey, Malcolm, do you want to do this tour with me?" He said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." So we did this tour. Halfway through the tour, Malcolm said, "We need to change the name to Sons of Cream," which didn't go down too well with the promoter because he just put banners up and spent loads of money at Kofi Baker's Cream Faith. Anyway, so after the tour finished, the band became Sons of Cream again. And then we did a tour, I think a little tour in England. We just got back from doing a few shows in England and Italy. I didn't do the first half of the tour. They actually got a sub for me because they had these crazy flights and stuff, and my back's not too great, so I couldn't do them. So, but yeah, so we're just back to doing Sons of Cream. We've got a tour next year in America.
Great.
We're releasing an album called Half and Half, which is half Cream and half original.
Great. Wow.
That's about it.
That's cool. Do you have any clinics coming up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, clinics normally come up a few months in advance, but I'm not really booking stuff because I just got back from doing so much on the road that I'm just taking time and sitting at home with my cats and my studio because I've got my own studio.
You have got 2 gigs coming up.
Oh yeah, I have a gig Friday coming up.
Okay.
With my Kofi Baker's Psychedelic Trip, which is pretty much everything I like about, like Beatles, Hendrix,
Nice.
Bowie, obviously Cream, Blind Faith, but a whole bunch of all the classic rock stuff, the most trippy stuff that we jam over because we improvise a lot. So we just go into whatever happens and just like Cream. So all the bands I pretty much do on my own is pretty much improvised, and there's no set thing because obviously when I do session work or something, it's so set that when I do my own thing, it's like free. Everybody can do what they want.
Yeah.
And you just did a session.
I just did a session last Friday, which was the best session I ever did in my life. They said, do what you want.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was for. I'll have to look at the contract, but it was in a great studio. It was in one of the most famous studios in Chicago when Nirvana did all their recording and everything.
Oh, wow.
It's on my Facebook, obviously, the studio, but yeah, it was like an improv session where they just had all this stuff up and they just said, play whatever you want over it. And I just went nuts and they were like, that's great. So it's like,
wow.
I wish I could do more sessions like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bun E. Carlos got you that.
Yeah, Bunny Carlos, he came to him and he said, oh, Kofi's the guy for that. And so he put me onto it. So I've got to buy him dinner now.
He seems a really nice guy. He's really nice.
He is a really nice guy. Yeah, he's great.
And then your gig on the 16th is at Mary's Place in Rockford. Right.
Yes.
And then you've got a gig in September at St. Meinrad Festival.
Yeah.
September, I don't know where that is. Somewhere.
That's Southern Indiana, I think.
They never tell me, and I have to get a map out and find out where these places
I don't know.
Interesting.
They don't realize there are other places in America. It's like, where's that?
But that's with Rick Fiorabracci. I use all these best musicians. Rick Fiorabracci, he was like in Chick Corea's band for 3 years. He did Yanni, he did Tom Jones, he did Shakira, he did everybody. So he's like one of the top session bass players. So I use all these really good guys and I just say, play what you want and we have fun.
That's cool. And that's what music's all about, is having fun,
Right. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, you got to have fun. I want to show these pictures from the book and I'll let Nettie narrate as I show each one. Like I said, these are from so long ago, there wasn't even photography back then. There's the cover. And I can't change the size of it, unfortunately, but you can see that it says Cream Chronicled. Look how young were they there, Nettie? Do you?
Well, my dad was about 28. I think Eric was 23. Jack was 24. That sort of age.
Wow.
These pictures were sent to me by a guy called Mark Prater, who was at this concert at the farewell tour, Chastain Park, Atlanta, in October 1968, and these pictures have never been seen before, and there's more. There are more. This guy has a whole little story, which I've put in the book, his little story about how he got to take the pictures, but they are absolutely fabulous. So it was a real gift to get them. What a nice guy. So big thanks to Mark.
Color even.
Well, the top one is color, and they've colored the 2 bottom ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we've got this one is just, look at that.
Oh, this guy, I think his name's Eric Lobenfield. He went, this is from Murray the K, and there are hardly any pictures from, we've got some, there are more of these showing what they're wearing. And they did Murray the K in, I think, March 67. And it was completely bonkers. It was with The Who and all these other bands. And the stories coming out of it are hilarious because they were doing like 2 80-minute shows a day. It was with all these. And the kids going to these shows were like 11 and 12-year-old kids, unsupervised. Absolute chaos, chaotic backstage with The Who. They had a, fight with flour and water. But to actually find some photographs of this is colour that you can see actually, and you can see what's going on is quite amazing. So this guy as well, he went and had a great time, and there are a lot of stories about Murray the K. So, I've given everyone where to find more stories. Obviously I couldn't put everything in, otherwise the book would be about that thick. But I've told people where to go and look to find out more. So there is a lot.
Is there any videos from his cell phone from back then?
Yeah, I popped back in time, and I wish I had.
Is that a cell phone picture?
There's no 8mm or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got all of my dad's 8mm. The three of us own that. So I've used some stills from that because they haven't been seen before. But my plan is for the three of us to put it together properly, because my dad's editing is so bad. And I've got my mate Sid looks after it for me, and we laugh so much. But we've got Cream on tour, never been seen before, loads and loads of rare stuff. So it's silent though. So I want to put it together and narrate it, and it's all over the place. So it needs taking apart, putting it back in order, chronological order. And then we've got things like Oakdale, when they played Oakdale, they've got sound checks. It's just amazing, the stuff I've got.
Did Mum do that? Was that Mum videoing it? The Super 8?
No, well, I mean, Dad videoed most of it, and it's all obviously lots of young women who turn up now and again on Facebook going, I'm your dad. It's like, you do know he was married with children at the time. Anyway, but obviously some of it she filmed him. There's one of him and I walking along hand in hand. She filmed that. There's some of us at the house. And Kofi comes in later at Blind Faith time as a tiny baby.
Right.
But yeah. There's a lot of family stuff, and a lot of Cream, so it's great.
That's cool. And speaking of Blind Faith, there's this guy who didn't really do much after Cream and Blind Faith. Like, whatever happened to him?
Did he die or something?
That looked like a backyard party or something.
Well, we had a long thing about this, because there's all these pictures that are taken by this other guy, Henry Bjork. Pardon me if he's watching. I haven't got his name written down. I think he's a Scandinavian guy. He contacted me again. He took some pictures at Cream's first gig at the Marquee, which was August the 16th, 1966.
Wow.
And we have Jerry and I, my editor, he's been great. He's found a lot of stuff as well, actually. And then we were saying, why, they've got different clothes on, whatever. But it was so hot that we realised that Eric had a complete change of clothes between sets. They often played 2 sets. So, but I had to really look at it and make sure that it's a lot of the ones because they play the same venue a lot. So you have to make sure. But Eric's hairstyle and clothes is the greatest gift to any researcher, because you can date things almost exactly by what his hairstyle is. What has he got a moustache?
3-inch wide ciphers.
Has he got a perm? Has he got this jacket on? Has he got that? Is he Wild Bill Hickok today? Whatever he is, it's really helpful. So thanks.
What was the bass player in Blind Faith?
It was Rick Gretsch in Blind Faith.
Oh yeah. Didn't he die or something? What happened to him?
He did die, yeah. But I'm very friendly with his daughter, who's a very nice girl.
Yeah. I like in this picture how, and I can't help but notice stuff like this, how high your father's hi-hats are open. I love that. And you can see the rivets shining in the ride cymbal.
He had his hi-hats. He had his hi-hats as high as you could possibly have them on a hi-hat. So when I sat in on his kit and I was a kid, they made me play when I was like 6 or 7 at the sound check at the Old Grey Whistle Test. And I remember getting on his kit and I was thinking, how the hell am I going to hit the hi-hats? It was like, I mean, because he used to sit up so so straight. His posture was really straight when he played.
Right. The
He
hi-hat
didn't really
itself
slouch.
was up,
So,
but they're also very open.
oh yeah, they're very open too because he, I mean, he was a jazz player, so he used the hi hat. So he wanted to get that, the sound of the clicking together because it was, part of his playing. So you have to open them enough to get that, But
and the
they
China
may have
is
slipped too.
the cracked China.
Right.
The China symbol is that one he had. The first gigs is cracked all the way around.
Really?
Well, the right symbol,
I see it.
right symbol that he played all through Cream and a bit of Blind Faith, the one that you see in all the videos, I had as a practice symbol covered in a dressing gown,
It disappeared.
and that vanished. I think that went in the trash, didn't it, or something? I think when my mom died, it just all.
Somebody that was gone before then. Somebody stole it.
Oh,
Go back to the cover real quick. There's the cover of the book, folks, in case you missed it. And lots of Cream stuff happening still, which is great. The 2005 reunion show being re-released. I'm definitely getting that. Can't wait to see what that looks like. I'm guessing there's I think you mentioned, yes, there's extra stuff with that, Nettie.
Well, I don't know, but I've got the link somewhere I can send you.
Okay.
But the company called Surf Dog.
Oh, okay. I've heard of them. Okay.
Yeah. So they're the ones that have just done the reissue of it, but it is out there.
That's great. And we're celebrating Ginger Baker month here in August. His birthday on the 19th. Jeff Berlin and myself doing our episode of Rhythm and Lows will feature music by Jack and Ginger. Looking forward to that, as well as another show I do with Lou Calderola called Under the Influence, where we drink a lot and then, no, I'm kidding. We talk about our musical influences and we're going to feature Cream and Blind Faith and Ginger Baker's Air Force as well. Which, by the way, I don't think gets enough publicity and
that was my dad at his best. I mean, Air Force, the drumming. I listened to that album, the live album and stuff, and I just think he was playing even better than Cream. I think then. I mean, that was the best
I really
playing.
like it. But fans are very divided. You get a lot of people who absolutely love Air Force, and some people just can't cope with it at all. But I agree. I think Air Force is great, really good.
Yeah,
and the idea of having the big band, the big band.
You get Alan White with that. I mean, what a package.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more stuff surface from back then.
Well, I've got a tape right here actually, and I don't know what's on it.
Well, I want to do some of the Air Force stuff in my band. It's just it's the problem is doing it as a 3-piece is kind of hard because it was a big band.
Yeah.
So we'd have to figure out how to do it as a 3-piece, or pull in a keyboard player to pull it off.
Yeah, you need a sax player, really, don't you? Some horns.
Yeah, you can do it on the keys, but you do. I mean, to really do it properly, you need a brass section.
Yeah. That would be fantastic to bring that music back to life. That'd be just outstanding. Cool. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to go backstage in our virtual environment. If you want to join us, you could go where the ticker takes you down there. It's Drum Talk TV, Brilliance.com, and we'll end the live stream. And I could see Steve. He'll give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if I remember how to do that properly. Oh, I don't end the stream, right, Steve? I just remove the icons I see there, except for the one. Is that correct? I think you could text. That's correct. Okay, great. So Nettie and Kofi, hang on a sec, and we will do that. Thanks for joining us, folks, here. We would love